In this video, we'll be exploring the purposes of different pieces of networking hardware. To start with, let's take a look at the wireless access point. The wireless access point creates a wireless connection using the Wi-Fi standard, which we'll cover in more detail in a future video. In most home connections, the wireless access point is combined with a router within a single box, but this isn't always the case. A router is responsible for routing or forwarding packets between different networks. Generally, in your home, this is between your local area network, your LAN, and the internet, but this can also be between two types of network, such as two internal networks within your school. While a router is responsible for forwarding data between different networks, a switch is responsible for forwarding these packets between devices on the same network. This allows multiple devices to be connected to the network at once and communicate with each other. But how do these devices connect to a network? Computers use a network interface card or controller, also known as a NIC for short, to connect to a network. The NIC contains the necessary electronics and ports to allow a device to access the network. NICs can be integrated into a computer's motherboard or purchased as a separate component. All NICs have a completely unique identifier called a MAC address, or Media Access Control Address, which allows them to be uniquely identified on any network. This MAC address is globally unique, which means that no other NIC has this MAC address on the planet. Transmission media refers to the physical connections used to transmit data signals from one device to another in a network. These pathways can be wired or wireless and play a crucial role in the speed, reliability, and distance of the data transmission. Ethernet cables are a popular transmission media, and they're made up of pairs of copper cables which have been twisted around each other to reduce the interference between the wires. Usually these copper cables have a pair of wires for transmitting or sending the data and another pair for receiving the data back. Fiber optic cables can also be used to transmit data, however they use light rather than electronic signals. This allows for a signal that can cover a much longer distance and has a much higher bandwidth than copper cables, which makes them ideal for high traffic connections such as between nodes on the internet. So, in summary then, a wireless access point allows a wireless connection to be made to a wired network. A router routes packets between multiple networks, whereas a switch routes packets within a LAN. A network interface card or controller allows a device to be connected to a network, and transmission media are the physical connections between the devices. So that's the end of this video. If you'd like to test your knowledge and access other lesson resources, then make sure to head on over to revisio.uk.